we move to the last interesting panelist, another different profile, Wessel. So he has a PhD in theoretical physics and went through many postdoc positions and a CERN Fellowship. And then he left academia to join Terres in Lausanne to work on predicting malaria outbreaks. After that, today, he's working as a Chief Data Scientific Officer, and we will know all about these different transitions in his career now.
So I'm Wessel Valkenburg. And yeah, thanks for the introduction. I will focus mostly on how I perceive the transition to academia, not so much my career, that comes later, but being, I think, the last speaker, you've heard most of the things that I'm saying already anyway. But I think my most important thing to add is that careers are not an exact science. I'll just add my anecdotes to your collection of anecdotes that you're finding today. And for me, the two things I find most important when switching from academia to industry is the language. And I anticipated a big difference in language, but it was even much larger than I anticipated. And the second is the matching of your profile to a job that you're applying to. Because if you're at CERN, you know that you're working at the top, one of the top institutes in the world. So hopefully that has given you some self-confidence that you're maybe as good as you want to be, as you hope to be. And what you will then find is if you look at job ads, you think, sure, that's something I can do. I've worked on programming. I know C++, I can apply to that job. Which is different from reading a job description that says, wow, this job description is exactly everything I have done in the past 10 years. And I'll go into that a little bit more, but those two things need to match. You need to learn the right language to be understood, and you need to find a job that fits you. So about the language and the misunderstandings. This is a lot of bullets, but I was going to build them up one by one, but the keynote didn't work with Zoom. So the top line, physics, in my opinion, is not the same as data science, and data science is not the same as computer science. However, you, the audience, I can assume that your abstract level of thinking is among the top of the field. But that's not enough. Another example of language and misunderstandings, here I've put in this bullet point 5 words: map, projection, transformation, embedding, encoding. To me, and to you maybe, it's all the same. It's a function. You put something in and you get some other value out, right? So you understand the abstract version of what it is, but when you talk to somebody who only knows one of these 5 words, they will not get you if you talk about functions. So you may be talking in the language that you know from academia, and you understand the concepts, but you're simply not saying the right words. A computational physicist can definitely write code, but you definitely do not speak the language of a computer scientist. So this is still focusing on misunderstandings and language. A hiring manager is 99 out of 100 times less technically versed than you and the people you will be working with in the team. So your task is to understand why they need you and then tell it to them why they need you. It's like you're the iPhone. People don't even know that they need you, but you need to start selling yourself. But of course, in an honest way, right? Don't say things that aren't true. And the first few times when you're applying to jobs, you'll be in the dark and guessing, and you will guess wrong. And as has been said in the first round, it's okay to fail. I mean, I've applied to as many jobs for postdocs as I have for industry. It's difficult, and you need to keep on going. Academic grant writing trains you to sell yourself, right? You can say, I'm the only person in the world who can do this type of research. But that sales pitch is not the right sales pitch that you need in industry, and it's up to you to find which one does work. And the last one is maybe the biggest one. Too many non-academic managers, not only managers, people, think that academic is a dirty word. I say too many because I don't want to say how many, but it's too many because it should be 0. And maybe you can blame this on those who left academia before you. or not, maybe it's just ill-informed, but academics are perceived as they do not deliver, they just dream, they have the wrong priorities. And this is not fair because people don't know you, but they see academic and they assume this about you. So it's also your challenge to remove this misunderstanding when you're looking for a job, right? You are a goal-oriented person and you can deliver the bare minimum before the end of the week because you know you're not going to write a paper and have spend a year on that tiny fifth digit after the comma, because that's not what industry cares about.
1 minute.
Thank you. The second point is the matching of profiles. 10 years of R&D coding is not the same as 10 years of production level coding. 10 years paper writing is not 10 years literature writing. 10 years of seminars is not 10 years of doing sales. And this goes on. But so what does match if you move from academia to industry? You need to find a job that matches exactly everything you can do. And that's the reason is very simple. Look at this last bullet point. You need to find a job which requires exactly you, because then the chance that someone else can do it better is the smallest, because there's only one you, right? So in the last 30 seconds, my CV, did my Ph.D. in 2009, postdoc Aachen, postdoc Heidelberg, postdoc in Leiden, CERN Fellow, postdoc in Lausanne. And then I was tired of academia and up for a new challenge. I moved to my first non-academic job, which was not easy to get, but it was a job that matched exactly my profile. It was a technical lead in a mid-sized NGO. They didn't have a large technical team. They didn't need an expert data scientist and an expert data engineer and an expert computer scientist. They needed one person who can do everything. And that might be something where you, as a person leaving academia, might fit in, because you know everything just good enough. So you can be the Swiss Army knife. And after that job, I moved on to become head of data science in a startup. And I'm not the only person in a startup in this panel, which may be telling. It may be a coincidence, but it may be that in a startup, you need people who are broad, who know things about multiple topics and who see the bigger picture and understand the details. So maybe try to look for roles there. And now I'm out of time, so skip this slide. Thank you.
Thank you, Wessel. Thank you very much. This was very a lot of details on the next step that everybody is looking at, supported with your own experience. Very interesting.